The only driving Marty does
Marty actually makes me drive all the time.
is driving her crazy.
You can just see, she's like just...
But she got a nice lift from Nelson.
He drove clear across town to pick me up.
And he was into autoerotica.
Kind of kissed in my car for 15 minutes or so. I would have figured him for a 2-minute kind of guy.
After he stops traffic with his blind date.
She's too tardy for Marty.
Will they have a change of heart?
Thank you very much. Let's meet our couple. Now, the first time he saw her, he started to drool. Okay, they met at the dentist office. But looking at her numbed the pain a lot, so he brushed up against her. Then he asked her for a date. Now they've been all smiles for the past 4 months. Please welcome Michelle Madden and Marty Yu. Now, you guys are here because you feel the relationship is starting to decay, I guess is a way to put it. Marty, they say the weight of a man's heart is through his stomach. Is that the case with you and Michelle?
Absolutely. Normally, I do most of the cooking when we stay in, but this one night, she made this really she had this romantic table set, and she served SpaghettiOs, tater tots. It was really quirky, you know, and Jell-O. But she had really nice champagne, and it was just, we laughed all night. It was really great.
Well, good champagne and SpaghettiOs, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
And Michelle, most attractive thing about Marty?
Well, I always feel that Marty's just so balls to the wall smart. I mean, he's just like the smartest guy ever.
And intelligence turns you on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really sexy.
Right. Now, Marty, you said her cooking was a little quirky. What about her style? How would you describe that?
Well, it's embarrassing. I mean,
embarrassing.
Just look at her. She's dressed like a thrift store Stevie Nicks. Like whenever we go out, she's always dressed in like, you know, secondhand clothes, and she can't go walk by a used clothing store.
That's ridiculous.
All right, if you had to think about Marty, the weirdest thing that she ever wore, what would that be?
Oh, that's easy. A hot dog outfit. I had a barbecue, and she's a vegetarian.
Right.
And she was really upset because I had all this meat there. And
he
so she
said
came,
that there wasn't going to be a single vegetable.
Yeah.
Well, so she's dressed up?
A hot dog outfit with like foam latex.
Singing "I Wish I Was an Oscar."
Yeah, no, my friends are like, this is your girlfriend?
It's totally justified because he's always picking on me for being a vegetarian, and he says I'm a total hypochondriac because I wear leather sometimes.
All right, well, Michelle, he was describing your style. What about his lifestyle?
I would say Marty's the infomercial king.
Okay,
like,
no, I didn't.
How to get rich quick for $49.95. Oh yeah, I'll send for that, and then I'll send it back. That's first $49.95. Made that much money.
Right, he's scamming all the way.
Marty actually got a hold of one of those cripple parking space things.
Like a handicap for a handicapped person?
No, but
Marty, tell me.
Obviously,
when you go out, when you're on the
neither
street.
Marty or I is a cripple, and so he actually pulls up to the restaurant, and the last time he asked me to limp.
Okay. Marty, now that's disgusting. I don't want to hear any excuses for that. Marty, what is she obsessed with? Tell me about that.
Okay, well, she can't grow up. I mean, you can just see. She's like just...
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
And she can't decide on a career.
Now, what about the fact, Marty, that she's a little bit taller? I noticed that there's a size difference. Does that bother you?
That's kind of a big deal, yeah. And she totally preys on it. Look at the shoes that she's wearing. She's
more heels.
No,
whenever we go out, she always wears the big guns.
No, I'm not praying. Nobody... Here, let's...
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Stand up. Let me just take a look. Look at the difference.
Now, but at home, she goes barefoot. She wears normal shoes. But
I go barefoot at home. That's
in
nice,
public,
Marty.
and people stare at us. People are like, yeah, look at that. And
so she rubs it in a little
knows.
bit. Now, Michelle, would you describe Marty as having that type A personality, very hyper
Absolutely.
kind of?
No, I can relax.
Yeah, we know this.
Marty actually, he's very from brain to paper, and so he's got to make lists of everything all the time.
And so what do you have? One of his lists?
I have a list. I have the most hysterical list ever that Marty gave me the other day because I was working in an office, and he said, "Oh, if they have a newspaper, be sure to get the commercial section. I mean, the coupon section. And,
coupons.
And if they have like Heinz ketchup, pull that one. And
so this
I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah,
Marty, I'm not sure I really understand any of that.
It
makes no sense to me. Michelle, explain why the two of you thought this would be a good idea to come on here.
Yeah, explain why, please.
No, because I really love the big picture about Marty, but we have so many little nitpicky things, and I'm not sure it should be so difficult. So I just thought that going out on a date might put things into a different perspective.
All right, will the little things make for a big change? Next, the lowdown on Michelle's date. Stay with us. Marty and Michelle. Now, Michelle says she wants someone less uptight and more her height. And if you look like Keanu Reeves, that would be more than all right. Well, Keanu was a little busy, so please welcome Nelson Del Sario. Hello, Nelson. Good to see you. You know Michelle. All right, Marty, if you had to take a wild guess, what kind of infomercials do you think this guy's watching?
I see. He's a hooked on phonics kind of guy.
Hooked on phonics.
All righty.
All right.
Here we go.
Michelle, was he Nelson an acceptable substitute for Keanu Reeves? Be honest.
If you like Keanu, you love Nelson. No, that's bad. I definitely thought he was very cute when he first came along, and he was wearing the coolest pair of jeans, which is just sort of a weird thing to notice, but
you did?
Yes, I did. And
style-wise, though,
as opposed to Marty.
Yeah,
I got my cool jeans on.
Yeah. And no, Marty's a big sandal and sock man, so it was nice to just see a man who.
All right, Nelson, what about you with Michelle? Was her height the first thing that you noticed? She was tall.
No, actually, when I was driving up, she was chasing her dog down the street. So when she came back, her
a rascal of a dog.
Did she have the big shoes on?
She had the big shoes on.
But you noticed what?
Her breasts, because
Yikes.
she was like pulling her dog by the collar, and her breasts were falling out of her shirt. So she was holding her shirt up like that. So couldn't help but notice it.
Now, Nelson, we heard Marty complaining about her style and the way she dresses. Did you have the same problem?
No, I thought she was dressed really classy. She was wearing all black. She had like a nice blouse on, a nice skirt, a nice blouse.
Well, you never wear that for me, like.
I have lots of nice clothes.
See, Marty's missing something somewhere, I guess. All right, now, Michelle, besides his style, was he scoring some other points?
Well, yeah, because for one thing, he insisted on coming to pick me up, which was great, because he was actually about 3 blocks from where we were going out to dinner, and he drove clear across town to pick me up, which I thought was great, because Marty actually makes me drive all the time.
Marty.
Come on now.
Yeah.
All right, so Nelson, you won some points there. How about did anything that happened where you lost points?
Yeah, I kind of put my foot in my mouth at one point in the
What'd you do?
date. Well, I'd originally found out that she was from Wisconsin. So, I'm thinking Wisconsin, I'm thinking cheese, I'm thinking barns, I'm thinking cows, big beefy farm girls, but I was pleasantly surprised when I saw her.
I would imagine so. Nice. Now, Michelle, was he able to pull his foot out of his mouth or just exchange feet?
Well, the thing that he did do that's really sort of annoying is he's very much, he's from Orange County, and so he has that talk. And when he first called me, he's like, dude, the cell phone's totally tripping, man, And then he kept calling me dude all night, and he said, and I'm all, wow, that's so cool. And,
all right, so that's how he is on the phone. What about when you actually got to him on the date?
He has really good manners, and he's a gentleman. He opened doors for me.
I open doors.
He does when he remembers. And we valet parked, which was a big thing. No handicap sticker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, what about Nelson? Any indications that he might be like Marty? A type A personality?
No, absolutely not. I mean, he definitely had his stuff together and, had a date plan and everything. And we brought along a newspaper to figure out what we wanted to do after dinner. But it wasn't like Marty where he has the Yahoo printout and MapQuest, like, where do we go next,
And he wasn't worried about coupons either or anything like that. What about his behavior at dinner, Michelle? Would you describe him as laid back?
Actually, no, because he kept getting up like every 10 minutes and disappearing and then coming back 5 minutes later.
And you want to explain what that was about, Nelson?
I had my allergies kicked in that night, so I had like a runny nose.
So once he settled down, Michelle, did you feel some chemistry for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we went out to a bar afterwards. Had those loungy sofas that you just sink right into, the kind of couch that just sort of helps you out.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, we definitely.
So you guys are hanging some candles and you're feeling good. Now, Marty, have you ever been at a place like that? With Michelle, have you ever gone to a place like that?
Well, she doesn't take me to places like that.
Oh, she doesn't take you. What about you taking her out once in a while?
She's the one who drives,
Oh, okay.
I could hang out. I could learn.
Yahoo.com. Look it up. Okay. So, Nelson, did the couch help you?
Yeah, I kind of did. When I took her back to her place, we kind of kissed in my car.
Okay. You kind
So obviously the mood was building.
Kind of kiss?
Well, it was.
Yeah, explain to Marty what kind of kissing is.
It was like, I don't know, 15 minutes or so.
That's kind of kissing.
Next question.
And then when
Marty,
I
does that
walked her-
surprise you a little bit? That long of kissing going on?
15 minutes. Yeah. I would have figured him for a 2-minute kind of guy. but-
I see. Michelle, how was his kisses?
He's definitely silky man, you know? I mean,
Smooth.
no, like you think it's good. It was a little too Rico Suave for my taste.
Oh my God, that is
just
so wrong.
I mean, it was like so
Rico.
together that it was suspect. Like, you know, how often were these suspects?
Well, I mean, it took you 15, 20 minutes to find out.
Yeah, well.
Now,
didn't seem to bother
Michelle,
you
what
there.
about the fact when he left, what stayed with you? Anything?
Well, quite literally, because he wears cologne, and Marty doesn't wear cologne, and I was never used to that. But it actually smelled really nice, and I guess when we were just a little kissing, it got on me, and so I went to bed smelling like Nelson.
So it lingered there, right under the sheets. How about that? Was a sensational date enough to change Michelle's mind? We're going to find out later. But next, though, we'll meet Michelle's competition. Heard what happened on Michelle's date with Nelson, and now we're going to hear what happened when Marty stepped out on the town. Now, Marty had two major requests. One, a short woman who doesn't dress like a wiener. And by the way, he said bigger breasts would be just fine, thank you. So we found him a meat-eating 5'3" stunner. Please welcome Nell Butolf. Nice to see you. Hi. You know Marty. Now, Michelle, Nell the kind of woman you can picture Marty with? What do you think?
No.
Oh, you know me so well,
she's
huh?
sort of like more, she's more tardy than, she's too tardy for Marty. No, she's dressed more like a tart.
Nice rhyme. Now, was it easy to make plans for your date with Marty?
Actually, no. I mean, Marty first suggested that we go to medieval times on our date. I thought that was a little too, cable guy kind of stuff. So I suggested that we go for a drive up to Santa Barbara. You know, that way we get to know each other, go up the coast for a little bit. But Marty seemed a bit concerned that we might kill each other on the drive up because it's quite a long drive, and I mean, we don't really know each other.
So Marty, what was your concern though? That it was just too much time with a stranger, or what?
Well, no. I mean, one thing is like I gave her options. It wasn't just medieval times. There were other things, and she.
Who drove?
I drove, but she nixed them.
Marty makes me drive all the time.
All right, so a little bit of a rough start then, I guess, trying to figure out what the heck you guys were going to do. So Nell, was he easier on the eye when you finally met him than he was on the phone trying to set something up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was surprised actually that Marty is totally my type of guy, you know.
But she's not her.
And you know, we were actually, when we first met, we were talking on our cell phones together, very LA. And then I came out of the house and I saw Marty, and he was the perfect size for me. Perfect height, perfect build.
I'm a perfect man.
I don't like these big, you know.
All right, so that all worked for you then. What about for you, Marty? What about Nell?
Well, actually, the height thing was great.
Right.
You know, she had a little too much makeup on. Like, Michelle doesn't wear a lot of makeup, and I think that's really cool. It's a very, natural look. And also, she was wearing this, like, hot pink top and, like, stretch pants, and it seemed more like workout wear more than, like, going on a date wear.
Yeah.
Now Marty.
I didn't want to come all, you know.
Now, Marty, what about once you got her in the car? Were your fears justified?
What happened was
Yes.
okay.
No, yes.
Okay, you know what? I like to get places quickly.
Right.
Okay. And she suggested we go up the PCH, and I'm like, okay,
Pacific Coast
whatever.
Highway.
Yeah, Pacific Coast Highway. And there was beach traffic and road work and stoplights, and it was just like ding, ding, ding. And
all right, now Marty, let me talk about being in the traffic. You got a little time to get to know her. Did you seem like she was more focused on her career or her future? Or?
Yeah, she's totally focused, really smart, and just very cool. She's got the 5-year plan down.
I know, Lord knows you've spent enough time in the car. Now, I'm assuming you finally got out of that thing and did something.
Yeah, finally we got to Santa Barbara. It was a gorgeous day. We walked all over the place, and then Marty actually took me through this really romantic little courtyard, and they had this beautiful
Guitar playing.
Spanish fountain going. They had someone playing guitar. Then inside, they had this beautiful fireplace. Really wonderful.
And Nell, are you used to these kind of things on a typical date, or is this different for you?
This is quite different for me. I mean, most guys think they can take you to McDonald's, and that's like a great, you know.
She appreciates
So I was very appreciative that Marty is a really, really classy guy. He has great taste in food. He really knows how to treat a woman.
All right, so, and Marty, very nice. They like that. Marty, did you guys grab something to eat there? Did you go somewhere else?
Actually, she had a suggestion for a restaurant, and so I made reservations beforehand. And then it was a lot of fun. It was a upscale Cajun place.
You don't even eat Cajun food.
Yes, well, tonight I had a big steak, and for once I could have a big hunk of meat without being hassled. And this is the best part. Like, I got to eat my meal in peace.
So that was a good thing.
She always picks at my food and like takes bites out of it, and Nell was very.
You ask if I want it.
She was very respectful
Now-
of my space.
Now, besides the menu, what else was different about your date with Marty?
Well, Marty is really a gentleman. I mean, most guys that I go out with, they're trying to like jump your bones the second you go out, or they're trying to start something here even though they have a girlfriend. You know, Marty seems like a really mature, respectful type of guy that, you know, he would finish a relationship before jumping
He would
into
do that.
something
Well, here's
else.
my question, though, now. Let's say he did try something. Would that have been okay?
That would have been just fine with me. I mean, Marty's I would have liked him to be a little bit more romantic.
We need 15 minutes, okay?
We don't have 15 minutes. Marty, what about the ride? Marty, what about the ride home? Was that a little bit more relaxed?
Yeah, when we just
Who
talked.
drove?
I drove.
Marty, he didn't even complain about. I didn't realize that was such a big issue in your relationship.
Yeah, we talked about her relationships and like her bad dates, bad boyfriends, and she told me this story about trying to have sex.
Bad boyfriend.
About trying to have sex in a restaurant.
Oh,
in the
yeah?
phone booth.
Wow.
No, it was very intriguing. I was
classic.
Now,
inspiration.
now you're saying about being all respectful and everything a second ago, but then you're bringing up all these kind of topics. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I usually wouldn't, but I wanted to give Marty some perspective about his relationship with Michelle.
got it.
Because it seemed, talking to Marty, the most of the problems that they're having in their relationship had to do, you know, Michelle's too tall, or really petty things, not big major relationship.
Well, now if it's
sex
well, no, wait a minute.
restaurants.
Now,
You don't have that to
if
worry
his- now, if Marty's problems with Michelle turned out to be too big, and let's say he had a change of heart, how would you feel about that?
Oh, well, I mean, Marty, he's a great, really classy, wonderful, smart, funny guy. I mean, I'd be over the moon if he
All
wanted
right,
to go.
she's enthusiastic and she's hoping. Will the little things make the difference for Marty and Michelle? They're going to make that big decision, and we're going to find out what they decided next, so stay here. Michelle and Marty, now you guys came on the show because you argue a lot like brother and sister, and that's a bit of a problem.
Ew.
You wanted to know if the nitpicking was going to ruin your relationship, because overall it seems like it's a pretty good relationship. So Michelle, let's start with you. You said you like the big picture with Marty. It's those little things that are making you crazy.
Yeah.
You had a great date with Nelson. He's a little bit more loud back. You were making out for 15 minutes with the guy. What's your
let's say it
decision?
again now.
What do you say? Stay together or change your heart?
Well, I definitely thought that Nelson's a great combination of looks and personality, and we had a great time together. He's definitely a slice of heaven. But I love the big picture of Marty, so I'm gonna stay together.
Stay together, she says. All right, Nelson, sorry things didn't work out for you. So Marty, let's get your decision. You've been with Michelle for about 4 months now.
Yeah.
You did have a great date with Nell. You thought it was like to have somebody different. Michelle says she wants to stay together. What do you say?
Well, Michelle has a lot of explaining to do about this making out business, which is very, very troublesome. But she's really fun and she's sexy. And Nell is really fun and sexy, but she also has a point when she says it's just the petty things. So I decided to stay together.
Stay together. Okay. Now, sorry things didn't work out for you. Marty, Michelle, hopefully you know now that the little things aren't important at all, and keep your eye on that big picture, would you please? That is our show for today. Thanks to Nelson and Nell, and good luck to Marty and Michelle. We'll see you next time on Change of Heart.